Hi, I'm Reggie Dulaney, owner of Panthro Fitness. And it's almost 2017, and something I realize is I'm getting older. I'm almost 43 years old. 2017, I'll be 43 years old. And something I notice is that my body's changing. Not necessarily, my dimensions or my overall look, but in how I work out, how I recover, just my day-to-day movements. I have a lot more aches and pains. It takes me a longer time to recover. Some things I just can't do anymore, or I shouldn't be trying to do. I can do them, but it's labored. For instance, squatting, I have a lot of knee pain now. There's a lot of things that need adjustment over time. And after years and years of banging on your body, you start to see some of the adverse effects. Now it beats the alternative of not doing things and not receiving the benefits of moving and being and challenging your body. But there's also some things that come with the challenges of lifting weights, and lifting heavy and being active, being involved in sports over a long period of time. And it does. Over time, it impacts you and how you do things. And I've learned that I have to be a lot smarter. And I know there's a lot of guys out there that, kind of feeling the same way. You have people that are, like for instance, ex-athletes who may have been high school or collegiate athletes, maybe in their 35, 40, 50-year-old range, but have never really learned how to train their bodies outside of performing or getting ready for a sport or an athletic event. It's very different trying to train yourself for life than it is to get ready to play in a match or in a football game. And I think there's a lot of people that are injured that have never really addressed those injuries, and then when they go and try to work out, it's painful, and the mentality is, as an ex-athlete, push through it. But you don't know whether you're pushing through something that you shouldn't be pushing through, or if you're just being a wimp. And I'm here to tell you that there's certain things that you need to be careful and you need to be mindful of. And that's why, in our facility, we have a physical therapist here that can, if you don't know those boundaries that you shouldn't be crossing, he can tell you, and we can work with you and help you to understand that. And I work with my personal trainers because I struggle with that on my own. And there's certain things that I should be doing, like mobility and range of motion activities, that I don't like to do, but they force me to do. And a lot of that is the accountability that you get from being in a group and hiring somebody to help you. And then you have guys that are gym rats, that have always been in the gym, love lifting heavy weights, and you're experiencing what I'm experiencing. Your joints are starting to wear out, and those heavy lifting days are few and far between, where, yeah, I can lift 400 pounds, but should I be? And should I start to develop a cycle or a plan where I'm building up to that? Or maybe there's certain days where I'm lifting lighter and I'm mixing in some mobility and some agility stuff just to keep my body moving. Sometimes it's not just about exercise, it's about movement. And I think that is where some of the fitness industry is good, but there's a lot of things in the fitness industry that are bad. And when you look at, say, and there's nothing wrong with CrossFit, there's nothing wrong with pushing yourself to the limit, but once you get a certain age, you have to be very careful about how you do that, and you have to be very wise in selecting the days and when you should do it. And nutrition becomes a huge factor. Sleep becomes a huge factor. How much you move during the course of your day. Most of you are having sedentary jobs, and if you only move during your workout, that's maybe 45 minutes, and you've been sitting down for 8 hours. What kind of impact does that have on your body? If you're just doing regular straight line motion, lifting weights up, pulling them off the ground, etc. What about lateral movement? Where does that come into play? So and flexibility, that's huge. I know that if you're if you're not very flexible, you have a higher chance of being injured. So when you're not mobile, you're not flexible, and you're still in there trying to bang on the heavy weights, and your joints are failing you, and you're a little older, it's a recipe for disaster. and it's going to deter you from wanting to continue. So the name of the game is to stay in this thing and to be as healthy as possible for as long as you possibly can. And that's what we're here to do for you. And then there's the guys that are, that are my age, in their 40s, 30s, etc., that have never worked out, have never been that guy that has wanted to lift weights, never been very athletic, but you recognize that you need to do something because your body just doesn't feel good. And you see people around you and you're like, I don't want to be like that. And I want to be healthy. I have kids now. They're into sports. They're into athletics. And, I want to be able to provide them, just a model, just an example of how you should live. And sometimes it's intimidating to come into an environment that you're not familiar with. You see the commercials on TV where there's a lot of strong women out there even, and that can hurt a guy's pride to see a woman that's lifting heavier than he is. And it's very possible that could be. Matter of fact, if you've never lifted before, it's likely, but that's okay. As long as you're coming to the right place, people support you, people understand you, people understand where you're coming from, and they don't care about the pride. Everybody leaves that at the door. So what I'm saying is, guys, get some help, get some instruction, get some understanding on how you should progress as you get older, how you should take care of your joints, what kind of ways should you be lifting, how should you be eating, what should you do to prepare for a day when you're going to be lifting heavy weights, or should there be days where you don't come in and touch a weight at all and you just do mobility and you just do some stretching and flexibility? When's the right time to see a physical therapist? So there's all these things that are new. It's good that they're available, but they're new, and sometimes new is uncomfortable and you kind of fall into your groove, and either you don't want to start something or you don't want to change something, and you kind of suffer through. Here's an opportunity for you to not only either start something, but to change in a positive way with somebody that understands you and somebody that understands what a guy needs, man, and what we are looking for at this age, when our bodies are starting to mature. And it's a great time, man, as long as we take care of yourself. So let's set up an appointment, let's set up a time when we can meet, where we can talk. Until then, I'll talk to you soon.